Robin arrived at the coffee shop early to meet her future lover. She was still deciding if she wanted to be with him. Until now, they had not had sex as such, but she knew that she had to give in to him or break up with him. If they had sex, it would be the end of her marriage. When it came to sex, she couldn't multitask. She began her inner reflection by reviewing the best qualities of her husband, Kirk. Kirk was the proverbial good guy. At first, their relationship was recuperative. Both had marriages that ended because their partners cheated on them. Kirk was a good, open-minded listener and had a good, strong shoulder to cry on. It didn't hurt that he was boyishly handsome, well-built, and had a lot of money. Kirk never forced her to have sex or anything she didn't want. Sexual tension grew as they met more and more often. She almost had to rape him to get him to have sex with her for the first time. At that time, Robin was ready to move on with him. Robin made it clear that the one promise that mattered more than any other: loyalty. Kirk must remain faithful to her and their marriage. She couldn't imagine that she would ever change. The sex in their marriage had been excellent, and even now she was starting to get aroused at the thought of their time in bed. Kirk seemed reluctant to get married for fear of being deceived again. Robin understood everything, but in the end, she forced him to take the risk. Their first few years were wonderful, filled with sex and pleasures. She loved the way he paid attention to her, complimented her, and usually went overboard with his gifts for her birthday, Christmas, and anniversary. On Mother's Day, he gave her more gifts than most real mothers received. Robin was not taken for granted. She was unaware of what could have happened to cause her to do anything that would threaten her marriage. Everything was fine in her marriage. She was worried that she was thinking about cheating on him. She remembered how she felt when her ex cheated on her. Robin was afraid of how it would affect Kirk when he found out he had been deceived again. Why did she even participate in seducing Francois at the very beginning? Why risk her amazing marriage? Her only response was that, although she loved Kirk, she was never truly in love with him. She fervently believed that Francois was her soulmate. When it came down to it, Robin realized she was more afraid of losing Francois than hurting Kirk's feelings. That's how passionate she felt when she was around Francois, or even thinking about him. Francois. Just the thought of him made her excited. It was lust at first sight when he walked up to her table in that coffee shop one day. He had a killer smile with dazzlingly bright teeth. His wavy dark hair and tanned features made her inhale, hoping that he would want to pay attention to her. When he spoke to her in that French accent, part of her was ready to leave with him at that very moment. Falling in love with him didn't make any logical sense, but it certainly made sense sensually. She remembered their first meeting. A beautiful lady shouldn't have such a sad face. I'm Francois, and I'm a good listener. I'm Robin. She extended her hand to shake, but he took her hand in his and kissed the back of it. Robin's entire body shook with excitement in response. For some reason, from the very beginning, she felt completely comfortable talking to this stranger about the slight depression she was feeling and the issues she had in her marriage. Francois supported her feelings and desire to do something about it. He offered his friendship and another meeting with her. She quickly agreed. That night, Robin dreamed of meeting Francois, and the thought of them having sex gave her great pleasure and satisfaction. It was the best feeling she had ever experienced. She couldn't help but think about what it would be like to actually have sex with him. In the following weeks, her contacts with Francois became more frequent and intense. They moved from hugs to kisses, from caresses to mutual sympathy and desire to be together as soon as possible. She woke up from her dreams when Francois sat down next to her. Once again, his smile made her melt in her chair. His presence made it easier for her to talk about what she needed to talk about. Robin decided to make her lustful desires known. Francois, I want to be with you so much that it hurts me when you're not around. But I just can't have sex with you while I'm still married. Loyalty was the cornerstone of our marriage. On the other hand, I don't think I could bear it if we had to wait for sex for the months it would take to get a divorce. I do not know what to do. Robin, did you think about legal separation before the divorce? This will allow you to avoid the hassle of keeping your wedding vows, and it's quick and easy to do. This might work. Yes, that's exactly how it's done. But even then, it's scary to think about. I hate to tell Kirk this, but I need to. Sometimes I cry, just thinking about how demoralized he will be. It took Robin a few minutes to control her emotions. She grinned and continued, I can't believe we're talking about separation and divorce here as if they were menu items. Robin became serious. Francois, I cannot risk my marriage if I am not absolutely sure that you will be by my side. Francois looked at her lovingly and answered with a breath. Your words would have hurt my heart if I had not already given it to you. Look into my eyes, my dear, to see if I'm lying. Robin, I love you. You are the most beautiful, sexy woman I have ever known. You will be the mother of my children. I loved you and wanted you from the first moment I saw you. I promise to love you until the day I don't see you again, many, many years from now. What else can I do to reassure you? I believe you, honey, but I still need to meet Kirk with this news. It won't be fair to him, no matter how I say it, but it's the best I can do. I can't have sex with you before that. I couldn't bear the guilt. Francois, come with me. You must be there when I hand him the divorce papers. I will need your emotional support to be able to leave him if he cries. Kirk is a really good guy and doesn't deserve what I'm going to do to him, but I deserve the life I want with you. I'll be glad to come as long as Kirk doesn't have a gun in his hands. He grinned. Don't worry. He is not a cruel person. I'm more worried that he might hurt himself. I really hope he finds a woman who will love him as much as I love you. Kirk returned home and immediately noticed that there was no smell of cooking dinner coming from the kitchen. He assumed this meant she was dining out. Robin walked into the living room with a serious face and said the infamous line about women cheating. Kirk, we need to talk. Kirk continued to stand and tried to control himself, waiting for bad news. Kirk, I hate doing this to you. I love you and don't want to hurt you. He interrupted. But I met someone I'm in love with and I'm sure is my soulmate. I hope you'll believe that I wouldn't do this unless I was absolutely sure it was for the best for both of us. I have a legal separation prepared here that will turn into a petition for divorce in 90 days. However, for now, the document says that you and I are free, the marriage vows do not apply, and we can be with someone else if we want. In the end, when you see that we are both better off apart, I hope we can still be friends. She waited with trepidation for his reaction. Through clenched teeth, he asked, Who is this son of a bitch? There is no need to call him names. You do not know him. His name is Francois. He's from France. I want you to meet him so you can be sure I'll be okay. I think that under different circumstances, you could have become friends. I've already packed a couple of bags and will leave with him this evening after you meet him. Francois, you can come in now. Francois came out of the kitchen. Immediately, he and Kirk made eye contact. They both had a moment of shock. Kirk walked up to Francois. Robin became concerned that she had misjudged her husband's desire to commit violence. As they stood face to face, the tense atmosphere was broken by Kirk's exclamation. Frankie, you idiot. Kirk, dog breathe. They hugged and patted each other on the back. Frankie spoke without a French accent. God, I'm so glad to see you. How long has it been? 10 years? How is your mother? Okay, thank you. You know she asked about you the last time I talked to her. Kirk looked at his wife and back at Frankie. I see you're still a hound? Yes, sorry about that. I had no idea she was your wife. I think she used her maiden name. I'm surprised you got married. I thought you were going to die single to some hot chick. Do not worry about it. I'm already tired of her anyway. Well, you still have a good eye. She is fantastically sexy. I decided to get married so I could have regular sex without wasting my time trying to seduce someone you knew. Were you really planning on leaving with her? Are you joking? I catch, have sex, and release. I thought we'd make it through the weekend before I had to fly off to France. I don't think I can do things like that anymore. I don't have the energy needed to seduce and escape. You're crazy, dude. The fun is in the chase. Sex is the icing on the cake, and you know how much I love to lick the icing. They laughed. Listen, Frankie, do you want to go to a bar and have sex with someone? Of course, and I know a good place. I guarantee you that you and I will sleep with pretty minxes tonight. Hey, now that you're officially separated from Robin, it's even better. She can't use your red tape against you in the divorce. Are you sure you don't want to stay here and claim your prize? Not really. I don't think Robin is very interested in having sex with me right now. He turned to Robin, who was frozen in a daze. Are you as good as Kirk says, Robin? I can always come back later. In fact, I don't think I'll be back anymore. A smirk appeared on his face. Robin sat in a trance, like a deer caught in headlights. She even looked more like a deer hit by a semi-trailer. Finally, she spoke. What about me? Both men burst out laughing. Kirk replied, Your bags are already packed. You need to go somewhere to live. This house was mine before we got married, so by the time I get back, you shouldn't be here anymore. Frankie and I are sure to have some fun company when we get back. Robin burst into tears as the two men walked out. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one.